Hello, good morning from the Pacific Northwest. It's Nancy, and this is my Thursday morning live, and I'm very excited for you all to be here. So, as just waiting for people to pop in from Malaysia and Vancouver, BC, Virginia Beach, in Missouri. I hope things weather-wise has calmed down in Missouri. Hello from the Canadian Rockies. East Texas, Wisconsin, Vienna. Thanks, Don, for the good morning. Portland, Oregon, Buffalo, Greater London. Wonderful. Montana. All right. So let's get started. So today, one of the things we're going to be addressing, because everything is shifting so fast. Everything is shifting so fast. So why are you so bone tired right now? Why are people so bone tired? And what's really going on? So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. So you can see my title, Too Tired to Function. So I've been doing a lot of meditation around this. So I'm a little bit on the other side of the hump, but I'm still sleeping really deeply at night and between 10 and 12 hours. So have you ever had a problem in your life, one that felt insurmountable, just suddenly dissolve without explanation? No closure, no deep discussions. It's just gone, and suddenly you're standing in this new space wondering what just happened. Well, this is the beauty of energy shifting. And today I'm going to talk about energetic fatigue, inner expansion, and the mental disorientation that comes when your spirit pulls you inward so quickly that your mind can't possibly keep up. So whether you're watching this live or you're going to be watching this 5 years from now as a replay, there's a lot of wisdom in here that can still be applied to day-to-day life. So you're not falling apart, you are falling inwards. And as normal for these Thursdays, I'm always going to follow it up with a really great meditation. So I hope that you all can hang in there. But before I get started with the talk, I have the summer solstice event is coming up on June 21st. This is my 25th year having a summer solstice. And I've been getting some calls because registration is now open for this event. It's about 2.5 hours long. The question that's been happening, because I do a psychic reading for the group. So I've got a couple of emails, people asking if I'm going to do individual readings. So let me explain just very, very quickly. When I tap into the frequency of the group, where we can have anywhere between 300 and 800, and maybe one of these days we'll break 1,000, but I tap into the collective conscious of the group that is sitting in front of me on the Zoom call. And then once I tap in, I start doing a reading and guiding you to join me in that reading in the collective state. And we start really shifting things at a big group collective level. So in the box below, there is a link. You can read much more about it, but I wanted to clarify that. It's coming up in a few weeks. And if you want to shift fast, you want to join me. Okay. So hello from San Diego and Texas and Arizona. All right. So as I mentioned in the June frequency forecast, let me just move things around my desk a little bit. This first part of the month of June is incredibly expansive. And it's not that kind of flying high type of expansion. It's more like an internal opening type expansion. You're stretching, Your energy field is rearranging. You've heard me talk about like all the little atoms, the little molecules, like in Star Trek, kind of expanding out and then rearranging themselves so that you can function more efficiently as a human, coming back together again. That's what's happening big time in this first part of June. And why is this happening? This is just an unbelievable time. The rest of the year it's unbelievable right now, and it's just going to get more unbelievable. And that's the bottom line of the issue, because your mind is trying to believe. Your mind is trying to understand. Your mind is trying to get like, that's not possible. How can my relationship have healed that fast? How can my circumstances in life shift that fast? So this is what's happening right now. And it's like, I have this saying, like, we don't have time to ponder our navels anymore. Like, we had this luxury of time 5 years ago, 3 years ago. We do not have that luxury of time right now, at least not the 3D time. Okay, so this is an internal opening, stretching, rearranging. And I've been hearing from people about this deep, unrelenting fatigue, sleepiness, long naps, needing 12 hours of rest, and still feeling like you could sleep more. This is not burnout. You are recalibrating. So when you're this tired, your spiritual system is doing something massive. The body has to slow down so the energy field can upgrade, unwind, and even rewrite yourself. And not standing up, rewrite yourself. It's right, WRITE, where who you have been is being rewritten. And who's the one that's rewriting it? Well, you're rewriting it. But then there's also the collective that's rewriting it. And And because this particular expansion is so inward focused, many people are misunderstanding it. They feel like they're collapsing. I can't keep up. I'm failing. You're actually just coming home to yourself while your mind is reorganizing. I'd just like to read the comments. Yeah. It's exciting and not exciting, right? It's just like, oh, again, but it's like every time you are rewritten, every time your molecular structure shifts, every time the sleeping DNA within you gets activated and awakens to higher levels of knowledge and energy, you're going to be so glad that you took this time to pace yourself. All right? Yes, fast change. So you remember when I talked about for the June frequency forecast, I talk about this rotating door, like you'd see in New York City, these rotating doors, and you're going in and you're not coming back out again. This is what's happening. You're going inward. So imagine this, you're shining your light outward for so long. You're shining your light on other people. You're shining your light, either you're blaming or you're feeling victimized by them, or you're feeling like you need to heal them. You're helping, you're fixing, you're figuring out, and then suddenly your light says, no more chasing. I want to shine inside of you. That inward shine, it can feel beautiful. It can feel settled, calm, even comforting, but it can also feel crowded. Like, what is all this light doing in here? I can't breathe. This is overwhelming. Well, it's normal. It's the new normal, and it's your normal. And as Linda says, yeah, people dropping off the radar. I'm giving a talk about light codes, and I'm excited about that too, because that's exactly what it's talking about. It's like your light codes are touching my light codes. My light codes. And it's like you want to make sure that they have open and expanded light codes. So, okay. So you're adjusting to the intimacy of your own inner brilliance and you're standing inside of your own radiance. And yeah, you do feel different inside. That space inside of you does feel different. You are bringing more light in and you're working at and integrating and adapting, feeling more comfortable with your own light. And once more of your light comes in, there's no room for other people's opinions. There's no room for other people's projections, criticisms, judgments, trying to influence you, trying to heal you. When more of your light comes in, there just is no room for outside interference. Mental pressure, the headaches of transformation. How many of you are having headaches, big headaches? So alongside the fatigue, many people are reporting headaches, especially a tightness in the temples and the third eye. Now, headaches are just indicators that your mind is, I'm using the word transforming, transmuting, but you can help me come up with a word for it. But it's like your mind is dumping major mental energy. Dumping. And as it's dumping, it's like everything's kind of softening and rearranging itself. So this isn't a physical issue, it's a spiritual over efforting. So write down on your piece of paper effort. Do you have too much effort in your energy field? So remember, it requires effort by the human body to roll a wheelbarrow full of rocks across the yard to build a wall. But as spirit, you don't need that effort. You don't need that effort to move things at the spiritual level. But it's pretty often our spirit will try to our mind will try to slow down our body because our mind is, okay, I need a sip of coffee. Let me try again. Your mind just might be trying to tell your spirit that it needs to slow down because you can't change that fast. That's what's called a belief system that you might be holding as a truth, but it's a big fat lie because you're going to be learning in the next 6 months just how fast you can shift. All right, I've got that in now. Yeah, some people are saying the headaches have been brutal, but no headaches, but more grand mal seizures. Wow, more than usual for me. Trusting it's part of the expansion. Yeah, there's definitely head things going on. So alongside the fatigue, reporting headaches, tightness in the temples, it's that over efforting piece. The mental body is trying to understand and control what the soul is trying to dissolve. So it's like your soul, your spirit's trying to tell your mind, I've got this. I've got this. Back up. And then the mind creeps in and your spirit has to say, back off. I've got this. So this is what's happening. So this is the moment where your spirit's saying, let go and trust. Write that on your paper. Stop efforting. Let go. Trust. And the mind says, no, not until I can figure all this out. So this tug of war creates pressure physically, emotionally, and spiritually, and of course, mentally, to give your mind permission to rest. Expansion is happening anyway. Consciousness is growing anyway. Remember, I said, if you're standing out in the middle of the street and it rains, you're going to get wet, whether you've meditated a day in your life or not. whether you think all this is baloney, you know, expansion and consciousness and awakening, it doesn't matter. Everyone's being impacted by these frequencies. And there are a lot of blue frequencies coming in. There's a lot, like I said, I'm going to do a video on binary codes because they're coming through so strongly. You can look it up. I'm going to give a talk about it, but it's incredible. There's more light codes coming in. There's more blue plasma. Our creation code activation group is really working through the depth of the hieroglyphs that are happening. So they're really taking their own consciousness in their hands and they're really turning that over. So it's the same with the summer solstice. You definitely want to jump in there, take that consciousness in your own hands to help you shift out all that mental energy. So here's where it gets really interesting. Emotional walls are dropping. And this, I really want to hear from those of you who have experienced this recently, because I've noticed it just in the last 2 to 3 weeks. So here, problems and emotional blockages that have lingered in your life for years may now just simply vanish. Issues that felt complex, tangled up, like caught in a net that's twisted and tied everywhere. You can never see your way through this issue, and suddenly it slips and slides away like clouds parting after a storm. And here's the strange part. There's no grand epiphany. There's no apology. There's no fanfare. You just notice it's just gone. And your first thought might be, okay, how is that possible? Do I need to go back and fix what was broken? Should I revisit the pain to make sure? How many of you have done this? It's almost like you have to pick the pain up again because it released so fast. You don't think that's possible. So you're trying to let me put the pain back in all these places because it could not have healed that fast. Or is this just a trap? It can't possibly be that easy. And that's what I talk a lot about in my classes that I teach, that the techniques I teach, they're so simple that you just cannot believe that you could heal that fast. And so this is what's happening. But these are major walls. These are like you and a friend who haven't talked forever because maybe the friend had an affair with your boyfriend or girlfriend, or maybe you had an affair with theirs. I mean, like this is big, major stuff like betrayal or disliked each other so intensely that you were like, I would never be ever friends with them. And then suddenly it's like you're waving, you're waving the air around you like, okay, how come I can't feel this hatred towards them anymore? How come I don't want to punch them in the nose anymore? And it isn't even about forgiveness. This is the crazy thing. It's not like I forgive you and you forgive me. It's as if the air is clean and it never existed before. So for some of you, you're feeling this major. I know I'm experiencing it majorly. And I'm curious if anyone else has had an event like this where things just shift. And I love this, Leanne, wondering, am I just spiritually bypassing this? Right? And she's like, how can it be that I'm okay here? Yep, you've got it, Leanne. This is what's happening. And I would say, as far as, humanity and the population of humanity, that maybe 20% have experienced this in the last few weeks. But what I'm trying to say here is don't be surprised if it happens to you. You don't have to think about it. It's just boom, what just happened? So the truth is, when energy shifts, it shifts. And the moment you stop resisting the flow picks you up and carries you all the way to the other side. So I'm going to talk about the metaphysical mechanics about what's happening at an energetic level. But I want to throw this in here because this came up in my morning meditation and I had already printed my paper. So there's some big, jagged, fierce shakeups that are happening. So at one level, there's a lot of the feminine divine that's coming in, this very gentle, this beautiful turquoise. I had to wear rose today because rose quartz can be really helpful during this time when there are these big, jagged shakeups. And the jagged shakeups are not happening all over the world. I am noticing them in the upper part of the United States. I am seeing these big jagged at the lower portion of Texas, lower portion of California, and lower portion of Florida. And they look like, like if you were to look at an earthquake, like the Richter scale, but they're big, bold, black lines. And so, in a nutshell, what this is saying in the frequency forecast is there's a lot of love coming in. There's a lot of kindness that you're being influenced by now, a lot of caring, a lot of gentleness, a lot of suddenly someone you thought you could never be friends with, and suddenly you're being able to see the qualities because those emotional walls dropped. So there's this underlying frequency that's like, no, I want to keep fighting. No, I don't want things to be peaceful, because if I can keep fighting and keep stirring the pot, then I can keep you off kilter, or I feel better. There are just some people that feel better in chaos. Now, I know I can hear you guys are like, what's going to happen at the top? All it means is there's a purging that's happening. So don't let yourself get hooked by dramas and chaos. Okay. Just don't let yourself get hooked, because even though I can see these jagged, like fractured lines in these different places in the United States, and I didn't even talk about the world. There are some countries, there's a lot of countries around the world just flooding the United States with a lot of love and a lot of compassion and a lot of kindness. And so we may think internationally that, if we believe what we're hearing in the news, that nobody likes us, but that's not what I'm seeing in the frequency. What I'm seeing in the collective of the larger consciousness of us all, I see a lot of love coming and helping to support. I see it helping to support other countries that are struggling as well. So this is some big stuff. So your mind is being prepared. Your mind is participating. And at the higher dimensions, you as well are contributing at that consciousness level, higher consciousness level, to help heal. Okay. So, yes. So Kristen is saying, I cleared some childhood bullying scars that I've held on to for 35 years old. And it just dropped like that. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, Allison, my necklace. I did get it in Egypt, and it's called a sistrum. It's a Hathor sound rattle. Okay. All right, back to metaphysical mechanics. So what's happening energetically? So let's just talk about my favorite subject, your human energy field, because you're accelerating and making a light body. And I'm like, okay, how are we going to do this? How am I going to? How can we explain this? Thank goodness there's so many of you that are contributing to that teaching. Okay, so think of your aura like a house with many locked rooms. And some of the rooms hold memories, grief, stubbornness, any stubborn people out there, fear of change, and the locks, those are your resistant patterns. But when this frequency rises, which it is right now, it doesn't pick the locks. It just dissolves the doors. And suddenly you're, I had to put this in there. Suddenly you're open concept living in your brain, in your body, in your mind. You're wide open, and that's the medicine. You're expanding. So then I asked Spirit to show me an image that represents the collective, what the collective is working on right now. And the metaphor I received in meditation was it's like you're a giant safe, like one of those big giant bank safes in your energy field, and it's been locked for years. And this safe holds your dreams, your creativity, your purpose, your peace. And now suddenly you turn back and look. It's almost like you have forgotten that safe, that locked safe was there because it's not been open for so long. It's almost like you just can't even see it, leaning up against one of your walls. And suddenly you take a look and the lock has popped and the door is open. And here's the catch. You're used to living without all of those things. You haven't had all of those things: abundance, love, choice, vision, freedom. You haven't had all that creativity. It's been locked away, and suddenly it's all available to you. And your reaction might be, close the safe. It's too much. It's too fast. This is your moment. This is the moment you've been praying for. We've heard this is the moment you've been waiting for, but this is the moment you've been praying for, not the thing, but the capacity to receive it. So for those of you who've been following me for a long time, you've heard me make this comment a lot. It's like, okay, the Amazon or UPS driver can deliver the package to the door. But if you don't open that door and pick it up and bring it in the house, it's as if it doesn't even exist. So here's the thing. You don't have to think about opening the door. The doors are opening. Can you let yourself have it? Can you let yourself have your beautiful life? Can you let yourself have beautiful peace? Can you let yourself have beautiful healing, calm? Can you allow yourself to express that love that you have inside that's maybe been locked behind layers and layers of protection? Can you let yourself have it? You're not confused. You're expanding. You're not breaking. You're being formed. So let it happen. So this week and the next couple of weeks coming up, instead of pushing yourself to do something with all this new energy, just let yourself notice it. Notice what feels easier in your life all of a sudden. Notice what has quietly resolved itself with no big fanfare. Notice what doors have opened and how no one's standing in your way anymore. I got goosebumps on that one, because the most powerful transformation is not the kind that explodes. It's the kind of transformation that hums, steady, quiet, and permanent. So if all you do today is rest, that's not laziness. You're just coming into alignment with everything that is shifting. So it's It's all good. It's all good. So I'm going to do a guided meditation, and it's going to be short and sweet and potent. Oh, and by the way, these roses are from our garden. Yvonne just went out and collected them today for you all. So, yeah, they're beautiful. Lots of deep healing. I like Linda says healing is off the scale. Okay. I'm an experiential teacher, which means I like to do teaching, and then I like to lead you through a guided meditation so you can experience what I'm talking about. Because when you can experience it, you can embody it. So here we go. In this guided meditation, I'm calling it flowing into inner radiance. Allow you within your space to settle into some quiet. See if you can let go of any tension or stress. Talk to your body. Gently close your eyes. And let your body know it's resting so that it can integrate. Imagination and playfulness is how your spirit communicates to you. So right now, allow yourself to be guided to ground your energy field to the center of the earth. And for some of you, that might be an ancient oak tree with deep, strong roots. For others of you, it might be a mountain of crystals or a beautiful waterfall in the middle of an Amazon jungle. Or it might be stuffed animals. So take a moment to ground yourself to the center of the earth, the magnetic core, playing all the way with any imagery that comes up for you. Once you sense that your grounding is deep in the earth, allow yourself to create an anchor to help really make your grounding solid. Because when you're solidly grounded, you are physically more stable, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually more stabilized. Your grounding is anchored in, adds stability, but the other thing it does is it functions as a release valve. So right now, if there's any tensions or stresses or worries, anxieties, deep grief or depression, Mother Earth loves to recycle all of that energy. So right now, let's just take a few moments to dump, to release any excess energies that no longer serve you and let it drain right down your grounding. Remind yourself of what today's date is and how old you are. Now bring your awareness to your heart center in your chest. You can place your hand there if you would like, or you can simply listen for a moment, not to words, but listen to subtle frequencies beneath your skin. Bring your awareness to that area. Can you feel it? This quiet hum, a soft pulse as your light is beginning to move inward, your spiritual light. Imagine now that you're standing inside a vast cathedral or sacred building or stone circles, whatever you create from your own being, a space that is tall, spacious, and glowing. This is your inner temple, and the light here is not harsh at all. It's warm, golden, and comforting. Assure yourself that you are safe in your own skin. Let your awareness drift down to your sacral chakra, your second chakra that's located just below the navel. Allow your own inner glowing amber flow down into your sacral chakra, your emotional wisdom center, and feel the waters of your own emotional history flowing gently. It's no longer stuck, no longer turbulent, just movement of wisdom and peace. And if you would like a little more support, think of rose quartz. Allow the frequency of rose quartz send self-love. And then say to yourself, either out loud or quietly, I welcome my emotional flow. Now lift your awareness to your heart chakra and feel the soft emerald energy begin to open like a flower. Whether your heart holds old grief or bright joy, or a quiet heartache, or a silent, gentle stillness, let all of it be welcome. And say silently or out loud, my heart knows how to heal. Now move your consciousness, your awareness to above your head in your spiritual chakra, also known as the crown chakra. Allow yourself to sense a radiant halo of violet diamond light here, gently spinning. Maybe there's a little gold, maybe a little silver, or maybe yours is rainbow in color. Feel the space above your head opening like a soft gateway. And I encourage you to be very soft and very gentle. Because remember, it's your physical body that needs time to integrate. This is where divine inspiration flows through. And so silently or out loud, say to yourself, I trust the path unfolding before me. And now imagine an entire energy field, your aura, like a gentle dome of light surrounding you. And in this moment, all resistance, remember, we're tapping into the collective of everyone that's tuning in now and will tune in later. Allow all resistance to dissolve. All walls, all blockages, all stuckness, melting, gently melting and falling away into the earth. I'm watching it drain, and there's some clarity down to the shoulders. Just keep letting it drain, letting it dissolve. I'm beginning to see a lot of radiant light flowing through your aura now. Don't forget to drop it off the back of the head, neck, and shoulders as well. Remember, you're not falling apart. You're falling inward. You're falling into truth. You're falling into your own inner radiance. Now let's pull out the image of the safe. Allow yourself to sense, and if you can, visualize the safe, that it's symbolic. It's made up of pure energy and imagine it's gently opening before you. Inside your unlocked open door safe are the dreams that you gave up on, the desires for life that you forgot you ever had, parts of yourself that you had locked away. Let them all begin to emerge, not all at once, but slowly, just enough for what you need today, just enough to feel the joy of the reunion. Again, say silently or out loud if you choose, I am ready. I allow the abundance of my being to return to me now. Allow everything with this meditation to fade into the background, knowing that you can recall and re-listen to this meditation anytime you wish. And when you're ready, you can wiggle your fingers and toes and stretch your body and open your eyes. You are not the same as you were 10 minutes ago. You have added and contributed and welcomed more of your own inner wholeness than you had 10 minutes ago. Welcome back. All right, everyone. So remember, we have the summer solstice that's coming up. And if you know you already have plans, if you do not have a spare 2.5 hours for the event, there is a price option to purchase the recording that you will receive later. I'm glad you enjoyed the meditation. All my meditations are on YouTube, so you can always go back. And every Tuesday, this one meditation I just did will be, my editor will add music to it and re-upload it, just the meditation, always on Tuesday mornings, so you can look for it there. All right, everyone. We are stronger together. You hear me say this all the time. I am an Aquarius. As an Aquarian, it's all about community. It's all about group. We are stronger together than we ever have been apart. But clearly, we were supposed to be learning a lot of things in a state of divide and division. But now we're learning through community. So hope that you can join me on June 21st. And most certainly hope that you can continue to join me every Thursday morning live here at 7 a.m. Pacific time. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. Have a fantastic weekend wherever you are in the world.